Today is Thursday, June 20th. We're talking about a new historic pact between Russia and North Korea and how American officials are responding. Also, we'll update you on the status of the first tropical storm of the season and heat records being broken across hundreds of miles, and how people are celebrating the official first day of summer. Plus, where you'll be able to see more musicians battle it out for free, what new movie is seeing big success at the box office, and why young adults are shunning dating apps and what they're doing instead. Those stories and even more news next. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in around 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. Well, two of America's strongest adversaries are forming an alliance. Russian President Vladimir Putin and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un signed a partnership deal this week that they're calling the most powerful ever. The exact text has not yet been released, but it seems to be at least the strongest since the Cold War. Both leaders described it as a major upgrade of their relationship, covering security, trade, investment, and more. One highlight of the deal is that both countries committed to providing each other mutual aid if the other faces any kind of aggression. It's sort of the same idea we have with NATO, but the leaders didn't get into any specifics, like if that mutual aid would include troops, equipment, or some other sort of assistance. Either way, it builds the resistance to the West. Several times, Putin described the two countries as kindred spirits, managing to persevere despite Western attempts to hold them down. And American officials say the agreement should concern any country that cares about peace and stability in the Korean Peninsula and Ukraine. Already, North Korea is under heavy UN Security Council sanctions over its weapons program, and Russia is facing sanctions by the U.S. and other Western partners over its invasion of Ukraine. American officials already accuse North Korea of providing Russia with military equipment to use in Ukraine, possibly in return for key military technologies and aid. Though for now, both North Korea and Russia deny those accusations. About 8 months into the war in Gaza, and there's no sign of the fighting letting up. Just yesterday, Israeli tanks, warplanes, and drones advanced deeper into the southern city of Rafah, and medics say a group of people was killed waiting for convoys of aid trucks. For now, the Israeli military says it's looking into those allegations. But generally, Israel's government blames Hamas for the high death toll, saying the group's militants purposely position themselves around civilians, so when they're targeted, so are innocent Palestinians. Since the beginning, Israel's strongest ally in the war has been the U.S., but that relationship seems to be getting more tense by the day. There was supposed to be a high-level meeting today with top American and Israeli officials, but the White House canceled it because of a video Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu released this week. In that video, Netanyahu claimed the U.S. was withholding military aid, but the Biden administration says, quote, "We genuinely do not know what he's talking about." Officials noted that only one weapons shipment had been paused since the war began, but that billions of dollars of weapons had been delivered without any issue. So they canceled the meeting, saying, quote, "There are consequences for pulling such stunts." As of now, Israel's defense minister is still scheduled to visit the U.S. early next week. People who lost their loved ones in a pair of plane crashes a few years ago now want Boeing to be held accountable. The U.S. Justice Department got a letter yesterday from the families of the 346 people who died in 737 MAX 8 crashes in Ethiopia and Indonesia. They called for Boeing to be criminally prosecuted and fined $24 billion for committing what they considered to be, quote, "the deadliest corporate crime in U.S. history." The letter also demanded that Boeing's board of directors meet with them and that corporate executives face criminal charges, too. So far, Boeing hasn't responded. But the letter comes just one day after the company's outgoing CEO defended himself and the company on Capitol Hill. During a heated Senate hearing, lawmakers accused David Calhoun of placing profits over safety, failing to protect whistleblowers, and getting paid too much. But Calhoun told lawmakers he was proud of Boeing's safety culture, even though it's, quote, "far from perfect." He pointed out how the company slowed production earlier this year and encouraged employees to report safety concerns. As expected, the first tropical storm of the Atlantic hurricane season has formed in the Gulf of Mexico. And now Tropical Storm Alberto is bringing strong winds, heavy rainfall, and some flooding to parts of Texas and Mexico. The center of the storm is expected to reach landfall on the northeastern Mexican coast this morning, where people could see as much as 20 inches of rain. In areas of Texas, like Corpus Christi, some people could see up to 15 inches of rain. Tornadoes or water spouts are also possible. Texas Governor Greg Abbott issued a disaster declaration for 51 counties, saying that will help get Texans the resources they need. The Texas National Guard also has platoons ready to respond. The brutal heat over the Midwest, Northeast, and Mid-Atlantic just keeps getting more and more intense. In the third day now of this heat wave, a bunch of record-high temperatures were matched or broken yesterday from Ohio to Maine. Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine actually posted higher temperatures yesterday than South Florida. And along the East Coast, today is actually expected to be the hottest day, with it at least feeling like triple digits for tens of millions of Americans. Officials in several states have activated emergency operations and opened cooling centers through the end of the week. The National Weather Service says things should finally cool down a little in New England tomorrow, but the heat is expected to continue throughout the weekend from the Ohio Valley to the Mid-Atlantic. More news still ahead, but first, thanks to our sponsor, Lumi. The summer heat has hit, and it's also summer vacation season, so one of my must-haves this time of year is Lumi deodorant. Lumi Whole Body Deodorant is definitely my choice for both everyday and for special events and travel because I don't have to spend a single second of my day or vacation worrying about whether or not I smell bad. I had struggled to find the right deodorant that actually worked, smelled nice, and was free of things like parabens, but I finally found it all with Lumi. And no wonder, Lumi Whole Body Deodorant is clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours, powered by mandelic acid that stops odor before it even starts. And it's easy to try because Lumi's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes that are great for travel and on the go, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. And if you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off their starter pack. So use code NEWSWORTHY for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's code NEWSWORTHY at LumiDeodorant.com. Now, back to the news. Sure, it's felt like summer for a while now, but today, it's official. The summer solstice is happening at 4:50 p.m. Eastern Time. That's the moment when the Earth's tilt brings the North Pole closest to the sun, so the northernmost parts of the Arctic get 24 hours of daylight. The continental U.S. will get 14 to 16 hours of daylight, which is why many people call it the longest day of the year. Then starting tomorrow, the days will start to shorten until the winter solstice in December, when we'll get the longest period of darkness. For now, though, it's a good time to celebrate sunshine. People around the world celebrate the summer solstice with music and other festivities. In England, hundreds of people travel to witness the sun align with the ancient Stonehenge site. Elsewhere, people dance around a maypole in Sweden or watch a towering bonfire in Norway. Here in the U.S., the Fairbanks, Alaska Gold Panners baseball team will play a late-night game in full sunlight. Thousands of people will gather in New York City's iconic Times Square to do some yoga. Plus, a lot of restaurants and grocery stores are rolling out special summer solstice freebies and deals. Well, car dealerships all around the country were hit with a massive computer outage this week. It all stems from a cyber attack at data provider CDK Global, whose software is used at 15,000 American and Canadian auto dealerships. Dealers use the software to handle everything from sales to financing to insuring to repairs and maintenance. But CDK says it shut everything down yesterday while it looked into the attack. Some of the company's systems have since been restored, but not all of them yet. CDK has said in the past that cybercriminals see car dealerships as an attractive target since they hold a lot of sensitive customer data, like credit applications and financial information. But it's not clear yet if hackers were able to access any of that data this time. The Versus series that brings musicians into a song-to-song face-off is making another comeback. Only this time, it's coming to the social media platform X. The legendary producers behind the series, Swizz Beatz and Timbaland, announced a new exclusive partnership with X. In case you're not familiar, Versus first came to life in 2020 after a friendly competition between the producers began to entertain fans during the pandemic. But it evolved and ended up getting some of music's biggest stars to battle it out. Think Gladys Knight versus Patti LaBelle, Snoop Dogg versus DMX, John Legend versus Alicia Keys, and many more. But it's been nearly 2 years since the last Versus battle, so Swizz Beatz and Timbaland are hoping to get the buzz back when it's introduced for free to X's 550 million active users. For now, some fans aren't happy and have been criticizing the co-founders on social media, accusing them of being sellouts and of choosing a platform where they often see racist comments. As for X, this is just the platform's latest exclusive media deal. Others have been inked with the WWE and Range Media partners, which both focus on sports content. Sony Music is spending big money on Queen's music catalog. The transaction, first reported yesterday, is valued at about $1.3 billion. That doesn't even include revenue from live performances, since founding members who are still on tour with Adam Lambert want to hold on to that for now. Still, Queen's music catalog is extremely valuable, including hits like Bohemian Rhapsody, We Are the Champions, We Will Rock You, Another One Bites the Dust, and many, many more that still get extensive airplay on the radio and at sporting events. Variety says the deal also opens up the likelihood of a jukebox musical that could go on tour. The Queen deal is actually more than double what Sony Music paid for Bruce Springsteen's music catalog a few years ago. The latest Disney Pixar movie may have just topped a Juneteenth holiday box office record, even ahead of Juneteenths that have fallen on weekends. Projections say Inside Out 2 made another $30 million in the US and Canada yesterday, and that's after a huge opening weekend. In fact, it was the biggest opening weekend since Barbie last summer. Box office analysts say it just shows the power family-friendly movies can have. And it's a huge turnaround, since the family-friendly genre was actually the hardest hit by the pandemic, when parents opted for streaming far more than in-person theaters. Now the genre is considered a bright spot and key to a box office rebound. More highly anticipated kid-friendly movies are coming out soon, like Despicable Me 4. Plus, movie studios say they have exciting original concepts in development, as well as some more sequels and spin-offs. Well, that's it for the main news today, so now it's time for Thing to Know Thursday. But first, I want to take just a moment to talk about our sponsor, Boll & Branch. If you're looking for bedding that will help you feel cooler and more comfortable this summer, I definitely recommend Boll & Branch. They have great options for those who run hot, like 100% organic cotton percale that's made with a naturally cooling weave, or their linen, made from European flax to be light, airy, and soft. Or stick with their best-selling 100% organic cotton signature hemmed sheets. You really can't go wrong. We at home have 2 sets of Boll & Branch sheets because after we bought one, we knew we didn't want to sleep on any other sheets ever again. Boll & Branch sheets are super soft, they're breathable, and get this, they actually get softer with each wash. They also have all those extra little things that I appreciate, like top and bottom tags, so making our bed is that much easier. But don't just take my word for it. Boll & Branch actually gives you a 30-night worry-free guarantee with free shipping and returns on all U.S. orders. So get your coolest, most comfortable sleep with Boll & Branch. Get 15% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets when you use promo code Newsworthy at bollandbranch.com. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND, branch.com with the promo code Newsworthy for 15% off plus free shipping. Exclusions apply. See site for details. Okay, now back to Thing to Know Thursday. So it seems online dating is the latest trend that's becoming out of style with Gen Z. And the largest dating app companies, Match Group and Bumble, have definitely taken notice, reporting poor revenue growth recently. So Forbes Health looked into what could be behind this shift. In a survey, 78% of respondents, especially Gen Zers, reported feeling burnt out by dating apps. They explained, saying they're tired of not making good connections, being disappointed by people, and feeling rejected. So what are they doing instead of online dating? In-person meetups. Eventbrite just put out its own report that says attendance at dating and singles events on the platform has gone up 42%. Matchmaking services have also reported a surge of Gen Z singles signing up for events. And there's all kinds of events out there, like ones that are interest and hobby-based, like game nights or athletic gatherings. There's also speed dating, social clubs, and more. All right, thank you so much for listening today and making us part of your daily routine. We'll catch you up on more news to know tomorrow. Until then, have a great day.